Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second meeting of the day. I'm here with LollyDeeb to talk a little bit on a deeper, more sort of insightful level about Acadia, our upcoming network upgrade at block 250,000, currently slated for January 12th, if block time calculated and everything's consistent. LollyDeeb's going to be talking a little bit more in depth about the bullet points that we had on the previous presentation. And we'll have an overview of what it means for the community as well. So, all on the agenda. So to start off, again, just a quick summary of what Acadia actually is. It's the code name for our upcoming network upgrade, our second one, after our algo swap back in June, July. And what this brings is all the latest and greatest stuff from ZelCash 2.0.2, as well as a updated LVMA difficulty algorithm from Zowie. Same difficulty algorithm we already had, just slightly improved and refined this time. So to kick off, we have the summary of features brought in from Overwinter. LollyDeeb, if you want to talk about those.
Yeah, first of all, good evening, everyone, or good morning if you're in Asia. So, what is Acadia bringing to us? First of all, you see here in the slides summarized the features we took over from the ZelCash Overwinter update. First of all, there are a lot of small bug fixes in there. The most important example is already printed there. If your wallet point that is very large with many addresses in there, it does no longer cause instabilities for your nodes. That's in particular important for pools and web wallets and so on, increasing the stability of these nodes. But besides this feature, there are others as well. For example, regarding transaction generation, that's much more stable now, and also transactions do no longer have an upper bound in their size, well, except for the block size, of course. For end users, this is in particular important when you have many small funds in your wallet, small mining rewards, and you want to spend them all at the same time with a single large transaction. Then in the old software, it was that sometimes the transaction could get too large and cannot be submitted to the network, while now it will work. Okay, then there's an improved replay protection in. So I don't think I have to explain that so much.
I'll just quickly gloss over it for those that don't know. It basically stops it helps us with, it makes network upgrades feasible, and it stops transactions being replayed and rebroadcasted on a unupgraded chain if someone was to run old software. So for the end user, it's something that seems to get, I think, overused quite a bit. LollyDeeb, actually, people seem to put it as quite a feature that they have replay protection, but really it's a necessity. So it's quite a major feature. Yeah.
In case of network update, I'd rather place that to the fourth bullet point in this list.
Yeah.
But, well, it's kind of both. It's also helping when the network is over or under attack. A replay protection generally helps you when you have delayed blocks or valid transactions on more than, let's say, one node version active. So also in case of a 51% attack, it helps having a good replay protection, at least to some degree. Okay, then one more feature activated with Overwinter was transaction expiry. At the moment, well, we don't have to lie, not that relevant for this chain, but consider the Bitcoin blockchain in last year, where you had sometimes people's transaction were stuck in the mempool because, well, the fee was set too low and the mempool was full, and so yeah, many transactions did not get picked. Here now is a feature introduced that you can put a kind of end date or end block to your transaction, and so are able to choose, okay, if it's not included up to that particular block you picked, then your funds will completely get back into your wallet and are not stuck somewhere in the mempool. Yeah, you can then send them again and so on. So finally, down there you see this streamlined scheme for network updates. Yeah, this is something introduced slightly before ZelCash over winter and helps them defining, can stay at that slide for a second, helps them defining concrete heights for activation and yeah, keeping track of network updates. We had to discuss this a bit if we really want to do this in full for our chain, because as you may know, before this upgrade, we already had one. That was when ZelCash changed to equihash 1445. And so, yeah, it's kind of bringing a new feature to something that already happened some time ago. And well, you see down there in this node, the first time when you resync your node after the upgrade, it may be required to pass a parameter reindex. This has to do with the fact that we migrated the already happened update to the new scheme, and the scheme changes a little bit the way the files are stored of the blocks of the chain are stored. And so it may be required for your node to read it again. So this is mainly a hint for those users here that are running their own full node. I now already can say to you, if you're running a web wallet or running it in ZelNode or wherever, you don't have to care about it. We do. Okay, next one. Okay, the second big feature set was introduced with ZelCash sapling. Sapling introduced one main feature, and that's the invention of so-called sapling addresses, and yeah, the underlying behind mathematics regarding the zero-knowledge proofs. Well, to make a long story short, the most important feature here is this is an alternative method for generating shielded addresses and transactions. And the main benefit of this new method is that it's consuming much less resources than the old Z addresses. A transaction from and to a sapling address now consumes less than 5% of the memory of the old ones and less than 10% of the time on the same hardware, of course. So if you've got a modern notebook or let's say 4-core computer, so something pretty average, you can now do a shielded transaction within 1 to 2 seconds. Yeah, from a shielded address, a shielded sapling address, to another one. Besides this, you see at the third bullet point, we have this discoupled spend authority. This allows us to do the signing and the generation of the zero-knowledge proof on a different computer than the actual spending. So there's two things I just mentioned in combination, for example, allow to do to perform shielded transaction on mobile devices and Internet of Things devices or something like that. So with this new, more resource-friendly scheme, it kind of makes shielded transactions, well, feasible on much more devices, and adds a lot of usability here. Yeah, so this will give, from the very first day, a good boost to the practicability of the ZelCash privacy features. But especially it's interesting if we have a small look into the future, because right now the ZCash developers are already on the next big update. This is the Bolt network. So, well, similar like Lightning for Bitcoin, with the idea to have off-chain transactions. And if you think of off-chain transactions that can be shielded, or differently, if we think of our planned update with nodes, in combination, it may be possible in future to create a shielded transaction within seconds and get it immediately confirmed by either a kind of master node or a side chain technique like what is currently planned in the Bolt network. So, well, that's a pretty bright future for privacy and usability on the chain. And so we're really looking forward to build new infrastructure on these new addresses. Okay, maybe switch to...
Yeah, definitely. It's a great... echo. Don't say too much. It's a great step in the right direction for privacy and the practicability of it, and it makes it much easier for the average user to adopt it. You know, you don't have to necessarily run a full node anymore to access private addresses, and I think that's super important. So it's definitely a step in the right direction, and you're right, it's a bright future that we're moving towards.
By the way, some note we didn't have yet. You also can see if you're going to do a sapling or an old so-called sprout transaction, because the old addresses were starting with I guess it was ZC, and the new ones, at least on our chain, are starting with ZA. Yeah, so it's really a different address type. So, what else do you need to know? So first of all, what's really important, the upgrade is mandatory for everyone. Reason is, of course, well, we have a new type of addresses. We have new feature like the expiry. And this all, well, changes the format of the transactions. And with the changed format, well, it's kind of clear that an old node cannot accept blocks having this new type of transactions. So, well, it is required that your node get an upgrade. Best, of course, before the activation high, which is 250,000, as already mentioned. Before that high, old and new code can just live side by side. So that's absolutely no problem. Already upgrading now if you want to give yourself enough time. Yeah, and as I mentioned before, if you've got a ZelCash wallet or web wallet, well, we will do the job for you. Yeah, you'll get an auto upgrade, and also we will take care about that. The re-indexing happens, and so for those users, it will be very smooth. Well, and mining, I guess, will not be affected at all. We're in very close contact to the pool owners, so some of them already did their update, others will do in near time. And well, transactions will only be affected very shortly before the activation, because, well, on the activation, the transaction format will change a bit. But at the current size of the mempool, I guess it will be no big problem. We just recommend to do no transactions, just the 1 or 2 blocks before the activation. But at least for our tests we did in our testnet, we absolutely had no problems with the activation. All activates smoothly. And so you can already upgrade now if you like, and already now generate your new addresses. Well, you will only be able to use them once it's activated, but you already now can play around with the upgrade, can already profit from the more stable node software itself. And so, yeah, we hope you're satisfied with this one. And I think we will come back with future upgrades very soon. And the next large update is scheduled for the first half of 2019 with introducing the Zel nodes, what was already talked about this morning. And to them, well, if I'm allowed to do some Finnish words, have a very Merry Christmas and a good start into 2019. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Lolly Deeb. And from everyone from the core team and the rest of the team, as mentioned before, a huge thank you to Lolly Deeb for his hard work on the Acadia upgrade. He's done great. It was awesome working with him. And a few people know him from his mining software, Lol Miner. And we look forward to working with Lolly Deeb in the future on the next few iterations of ZelCash. And as mentioned, nodes are coming. That's the next big thing. And to close, once again, thank you for an awesome 2018. It's been an awesome and great, very enriching experience for me, and I believe the rest of the team as well. And we've had awesome support from the community. And what a great community we do have. So we'll be on a Q&A for a bit. It's late here in Europe. Lolly Deeb's an hour ahead of me over in Germany, so probably bedtime for him soon and soon for me. But we'll jump on a Q&A quickly on Discord if you guys want to see us over there quickly and asking you questions. And yeah, it'll be the last live meeting for this year. Thank you very much. Have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Have a great New Year. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.